Well, hello. So today we're going to talk about manga, and we're going to talk about the manga series that I'm currently collecting and continuing on with. We're not talking about my completed series in here. I only have a couple. I have like Goodnight Pun Pun, a couple Danganronpa series, Corpse Party. Oh, that might be it. I've completed. I think that is it. Technically, I mean. One thing I'm not counting in completed or in this is A Silent Voice, because I read the entire series, so I'm not actively looking to collect them again. I have the first three just because I have them. So let's talk about these in reverse alphabetical order by authors' last names because I just want to on my bookshelves. But the first one I want to talk about is Library Wars. So this is the first volume. I have volumes 1 and 4. This is one of the series where I got the 4th volume in like a lot on eBay, and I read it and I really liked it, so I went back to the beginning. The series follows a near future where there's a lot of book banning and censorship going on, and libraries are like kind of militarized against all that. And I think it's super. As somebody who was a librarian, I just love the concept so much. I also love the characters. This is our main character. She's really kind of spunky, and this is like her immediate like superior, and he is like kind of grumpy and he's short, and I love that. I really enjoy the series. I am excited to actually finish collecting this. I know it's all complete. It's an older series. So I got this one. The next one I have is Sweat and Soap. I have volumes 1 through 5 of Sweat and Soap. And Sweat and Soap is I believe it's josei. Is that what it's called? But it is about this young woman who works at a soap company, and she's in the accounting department, and she works for this company because she really likes them, because she feels she has had a perspiration problem and a body odor problem throughout her life, and she thinks that this soap is very it helps a lot with that. And then we've also got a man who works in the same company who works in like the scent department, and he smells her and he thinks she smells really good, and it sounds really creepy, but it is so cute. It's such a cute manga. I love the relationship. I love the side characters. I'm excited to continue on this one. It's a great time. After that, I've got Food Wars. So I've only read the first volume, but I own volumes 2 and 3. They're in the book wall. I don't know, this is a series I'm still kind of on the fence about, just because it's a little sketchy sometimes. But this is about this guy who goes to like this food school, and he's like kind of an underdog. And the thing that makes this series sketchy is that when people are eating food, there's lots of nudity, like in their head they're like orgasming from the food. But I'm on the fence about it until I read volumes 2 and 3. I'm still intending on continuing it, but this is what I've still got this. After that, I've got what I consider my favorite manga series, and that is Monteiro Suzaki-kun. I own all the volumes of the series. It is still coming out. I'm like all caught up on ordering. I have read volumes 1 through 13. Volume 14 just came out like this year in 2023, so I haven't read it yet, but I do own it. And this is like literally the funniest series I've ever read in my entire life. It's hilarious. The anime too is amazing, and I wish they had gotten more than one season. But this follows this girl here. She's in high school, and she has a crush on this guy. But when she goes to confess to him, he's a famous shoujo manga artist. He thinks that she's asking for an autograph, and so he gives her an autograph. And she is just so awkward that she ends up eventually she's like helping out with his manga, and it's just everybody here like the misunderstandings are just constantly hilarious, and it's such a funny series, and I'm just so happy with it. I'm very excited to eventually read volume 14 whenever I get to it. I think it's somewhere buried in there, but so good. After that, I've got his favorite, and I've got volumes 1 through 9, and I've read all of the ones that I own. This is a BL manga. It follows this guy who is consistently being seen as being like just ugly and gross, and then this guy who is like the hottest boy in school, and they're in a relationship. What's fun about this series is that it does not take itself seriously whatsoever. It is hilarious, and it's almost like a parody of most BL stories. It's so funny. There are these 2 siblings in there. They're artists, and I always say their name. I think they're the Nozawa siblings. I will correct myself if I'm wrong, but I always think it's one thing and something completely different. But the artist siblings, they're hilarious, and I love them. This is such a fun series, and I wish I I don't think I've read this series for like a year. I haven't worked on this series at all, and I want to. It's hilarious. It's so fun. After that, I've got another series I'm still kind of on the fence about. I own the first 3 volumes. I've read the first 2, and I don't know if I'm going to keep going on with this series. And that is Cast Heaven. This is a series that's real sketchy. This follows this school where we've got a bunch of people, and in this classroom, in these classes, every so often they play this game where they find cards from, a deck of cards, and the higher their number or suit, the more power they have in the class. And if you get a certain card, then you are the complete butt of the entire school. Like you are the target. And so this is about a former king who ends up getting betrayed, and then he becomes the target, and basically he just gets systematically sexually assaulted and raped throughout the entire thing. It's not a good series. I don't think I could ever call it a good series. I liked the first volume. I didn't like the second volume. I like the attitude of the main character because he's such a dick. I like it. So I'm not sure if I'm going to continue on with this series, but yeah, there's that. Normally when I'm done, unless I finish the series and I love it, normally once I decide I'm done with the series, I'll get rid of it. That's not the case for some of these, because one of these I think I might be thinking like I'm done with soon. I don't know. Next up, I've got Durara. I've got the first 2 volumes of the series, and I watched the show when I was younger, when I was like in high school. But this is just about a bunch of people and gangs and supernatural occurrences, and that's really all I can say about this. There's so much going on. I own and have read the first 2 volumes. I think maybe, do I own volume 3? I just haven't read it. I might own volume 3, I don't remember though. But got this. And this next one isn't technically a manga, but I'm counting it in here anyway. And that is Killing Stalking, which is a kind of an infamous, it was like an infamous like webtoon. But it is about this young man who is like obsessed with this really good looking and strong and popular man, and then he ends up breaking into this guy's house, but it turns out this guy's a serial killer. And a lot of stuff happens. Again, like with Cast Heaven, I liked the first volume. The second volume wasn't really my thing. But this is a much shorter series than Cast Heaven, so I think I'm gonna keep on going with this, probably just because I think for my rating in the front I just put a question mark because I wasn't quite sure how to feel about it. But I am currently working on this. I got the first 2 volumes. I've read them both. After that, I've got Given. With Given, I own the first 3 volumes. I've read them all. This is good. This is a good goddamn series. This is another BL, and it's probably the best BL series I've ever read, if I'm being completely honest. It is about these two. This guy's in a band. This guy's ex-boyfriend killed himself and left him his guitar, and it's so good. And it's got an anime, and I haven't watched all of the anime. I've watched a couple episodes. The anime is so good. This is everything. This series is so goddamn good. After that, I've got Dead Man Wonderland. I have the first 3 volumes. I've read them all. This is unfortunately one of those series where some of the volumes are out of print, so it's kind of hard to find them, and I think volume 4 was that situation. I was going to buy it a while ago, but it's out of print, and it's hard to find at a reasonable price. But they'll come in and out of print sometimes. But this is about this world where there is a very for-profit prison, and this guy right here, this kid, he ends up getting convicted for killing and murdering all of his classmates. He gets sent to this prison. I also have the anime of this on DVD, and it's pretty good. But it's a pretty good series. I enjoy it. I do look forward to eventually finishing it and continuing on with it, but I read this. Next up is one I've only bought and read the first volume, but I really liked it, and that is Blue Lock. This is, I think, the sports anime du jour, I want to say. But this is a soccer one. I didn't know if I was going to like it based on the first couple, like the first chapter or so, but once we got into like the actual, like, got to know these other kids who were in this like competition, like there's that crazy one. What's wrong with this guy? I don't know, but it's very fun. I'm excited to keep on going. I'm excited to watch the anime at some point too. But yeah, I'm enjoying this one. After that, I've got Sasuke Miyano, which I have and have read the first two. This is an adorable series. The volumes are so small though, so it's really hard to justify $13 on this. But it is about these two boys, and they're very sweet, and it's like Japanese Heartstopper. That's what it is. That's the best way to describe it. After that, I've got Wotakoi. I actually have read, I want to say, the first 5 volumes of this series. I used to own the first 3. I read the volume 4 and 5 from the library I used to work at, and I have never read volume 6. Right now, I only have reread volume 1. So the next one I get will be volume 2. But it's very cute. It's like a workplace romance, slice of life. These guys are nerds. Everybody's a nerd, and I love it. It's adorable. After that, I've got one that I've actually only read the 3rd volume of, which is sometimes I do. Sometimes I will receive volumes of manga that are not the first in the series, and I'll read them anyway, and then if I'm interested, I'll go back and buy the first one. And for this one, I did go back and buy the first one, but I haven't read it yet, so I own the first one and the 3rd one. I've only read the 3rd one, and that is My Dress Up Darling. Actually, these next 2 are both like that. Also, Great Teacher Onizuka. I've got volume 4 right here, but again, I bought the first one. I just haven't read it yet. But My Dress Up Darling, Great Teacher Onizuka, since I haven't read the first volume, I don't really know how to summarize this in a way that's not spoilery, so we're going to move on. After that, I've got my one Danganronpa that I have not finished. I have all of the other Danganronpa manga series, but I only have the first volume of Ultra Despair Girls. I've never played this game. I've played the first 2 games. I was a homestuck when there was the big hiatus, and we all got into Danganronpa at that point, which is when I got into Danganronpa. But this follows that game. I think in this one we do meet little boy Asahina in here. Did he just die? Does he die in this one? Oh yeah. Oh no, not. Oh yeah. Yeah, he did. Damn. Oh no, not yet. I know he dies sometime. But yeah. I'm gonna move on. After that, I've got one that I've only read the first volume of, but I do intend on continuing. I don't own the 2nd volume or anything, but I do intend on continuing it. And that is, I Think I Turned My Childhood Friend into a Girl by Azusa Banjo. And I think that this series there's a lot of controversy, and I'm going to say a lot of mixed feelings about the series for how it looks at gender. Because this person is perfectly happy presenting feminine because this guy likes it and thinks that he's cute when he's dressed like a girl. And I, as somebody who gender isn't important to, I think that that's fine. But a lot of people do not feel the same way. But I thought that this first volume was really interesting and really good, so I do intend on continuing. After that, I've got my Love Mix-Up Volume 1. I have this one, and I have number 2. I've read both of them. This is another one of those comedy misinterpretation things. It's so funny, basically. I really like this first cover because it's really easy to explain this way. This guy, he has a crush on her, and he borrows her eraser one day, and his name is written on it, so he thinks that she has a crush on him, but he sees him with the eraser with his name on it, and he thinks that he has a crush on him, and then there's a lot going on. I'm very excited for the next one. Now this last is one that I've really enjoyed, but I feel like I don't really want to read anymore. I feel like I'm not really that interested in continuing on with the series. It's still on my list because I think I am interested in some way in continuing on, but I don't actually know how much farther I'm going to go, but I do think I want to keep them just because I love the main character so much. And that is Hitorojime My Hero. I've got volumes 1 through 5 plus Hitorojime Boyfriend, and this is about this kid he's such a pushover. And he used to run around with these thugs because he would just do whatever they told him to do. And one day he rescues him from the thugs, and when this guy's in middle school at this point. And then when he's in high school, this guy he becomes best friends with this guy's little brother, and then when he gets into high school, this guy becomes their math teacher, and there's a teacher-student relationship, which I'm not a fan of. I never have been. I didn't understand it as a student, and after becoming a teacher, I understood it even less. It's gross. But I think this guy's character is so fucking strong. He's so anxious, and I love him so much. I like him a lot. I am forever rooting, because this guy, in the later ones, this guy has a crush on the main character. I'm rooting for them, even though I know it will never happen. So I don't know how much longer I'm going to continue on the series. But yeah, those are all the manga series that I am currently reading and collecting. this list will probably grow at some point. At some point I should probably do my completed manga, you know, showcase, I guess. There's not that many, but there are a couple. But that is everything. I'll talk to you later and goodbye.